My skin looks a mess. Oh, look at that hair that's coming up over my ear. You know, you never notice how hairy you are until you get yourself in front of a mirror like this. There's a lot of gray in there. Okay. I forgot I have to talk. Hey babies, welcome back to Dragmas, your draggy Christmas countdown on the 12 days leading up to Christmas. I'm your host, David Day, and you, my darling, have landed yourself on day 5. Dragmas day 5 starts now. Oh, I don't have my Red Bull. I like to click that when I say starts now. And that concludes today's lesson on theatrics. Dragmas day 5 starts now. Oh, that was good. What you still doing here, love? You're supposed to be watching the intro. I've been trying to make sure that I sit right in between the D and the T because, oh my god, okay, speaking of the D and the T, there's a past and future president that has the same initials as me.
I made a speech.
It's too late to change my name, but that's okay. We'll bring some love and respect back with these initials. Anyway, Dragmas Day 5. Pink and green, that's the vibe. We're gonna jump right on in. With what, though, is the question? It's Elmer's. How could I forget the Elmer's? Just a moment of silence for how good and clean my face feels right now with nothing on it. We're gonna wreck it now. Sensory nightmare. Speaking of a sensory nightmare, there is something that I want to share today. And I've thought a lot about whether I want to share what I'm about to share with you, because when I share with you what I'm about to share with you, you are going to be shared. I'm shared. That wasn't even the joke, but it was sitting right there, so I had to take it. So I call myself a content creator, I think. Other people do as well. When you get down to the brass tacks of it all, I am creating content. You know, you're watching my video right now. I'm making that content. And there's, you know, some stereotypes that people fall into with that, of like the kind of person that does that. And like, I'm all over all of the platforms. If you want any information about what else I do on the internet, because it's a lot, and you haven't seen Dragmas Day 4, go watch Dragmas Day 4. I really laid it all out. I spent so much time on the editing of that video, just like linking all the things and that. So if you want to see all the other things that I do, go watch that video. That's not what this video is. And because of my preconceptions of the way that content creators kind of exist out here in this space, I've always been very mindful of what parts of myself I want to share online, because even just from a safety perspective, I don't want to be, you know, like, here's my social security number, right? And it's taken up an amount of time. Like, it's a really dynamic thing that you have to think about, right? How do you want to appear? What do you want to share about yourself? And maybe most recently, I have been thinking about the intention behind the sharing. I just noticed that it's not going on purple, but it's a purple stick. Has it ever gone on purple? It is very dry. I mean, I moisten her up after if you've seen any of the other ones, so don't think it's going to be this cakey mess, although it might be this cakey mess. So yes, I've always been very mindful of what I share about myself online through my content like this. And I've really conceptualized the way that I think about this through intent. What is my intent in sharing certain things about myself? Because when I started D-Talk on my podcast, for example, on the first season, I remember writing in the description, it's a personality brand, babes. I'm not a millennial. I'm barely a millennial. I'm like the most elder Gen Z possible you can get. Or rather, I'm right in the middle. Same with my Libra and Virgo cusp. I don't sit on any, and I'm non-binary. You see, I don't want your labels. Get your labels. That's not what we're... And I just remember filming those episodes and being like, hi, here's my entire life. Let me just tell you everything. And then there was an amount of time where I started to dial it back a little bit. But now something has happened for me in my life. And, you know, I want to share it. It's not really as deep, maybe, as I'm making it sound right now in this video. But I just see so many of the people in my life also struggle with something that I have struggled with for a long time. And my struggle has come to a little bit of a point or a climax. If you know the Freytag's pyramid, Kylie, put in the Freytag's pyramid right here. The Freytag's the climax. you know? And I want to share it because it was something that was very stressful but meaningful. Oh God, who am I? What is going on here? So, to make a long story short,
7th grade, I showed an aptitude for the clarinet. Then,
no, I love that joke. So I have struggled with anxiety pretty much since I've had memories, right? A big part of that was, oh yeah, again, see, we get here and I'm like, I've said it before, you watch these videos. I grew up fat and gay, right? So I dealt with a lot of social anxiety. It's just really how I developed to be terrified in all social situations because of safety concerns, whether physical safety, psychological safety, all of it. So yeah, your girl's been nervous. And you know what? When you hear that, you're like, okay, yeah, I feel like a lot of people struggle. And I think a reason why I struggled to realize that my anxiety was taking over a little bit too much of my life to be appropriate is that a lot of the times when I would express it to people, they would also share similar experiences. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, when you explain something that's going on, they respond with, oh yeah, like I have that too. And maybe they viewed it as the same. And maybe that person also needs help. And that's the thing too, like needing help is okay. You're one single human being watching this video right now. It would actually be torturous if you knew how to do everything and you had to do everything on your own. There's people out there that are ready, willing, and qualified to help you. Girl, if you're still, I'm keeping you on the edge of your seat. But no, that's the point of this, is that the point of me sharing this is not some moment of like, oh, I have this diagnosis. It doesn't really matter. And I think that's part of the problem that I've seen around me and with myself as well. Anyway, so a lot of people would equate what I was explaining as anxiety as what they had too. And that very well may have been the case. But it wasn't just regular anxiety for me. That's just what I want to lay down here. And I think the problem with people just casually talking about those things and like, oh, yep, that's just how I exist. That's how everybody is. Everybody's anxious and terrified all the time. If that is the case, why are we not talking about this more? And I know it's not the case for everybody. You right now, when you go out in social situations, are you just filled with fear? And it's not even social situations either for me. It's just like going out and being around people I don't know. It gets better with people that I do know, but I've went through on this channel like my experiences with gun violence and crowds and things like that. So some of those things make a little bit more sense when you start to unpack them. And for a really long time growing up, I thought that I had somewhat of an attention disorder because I did have trouble concentrating and I was showing a lot of the signs for ADHD. But being terrified in social situations and here it comes. Having OCPD. OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder, and then the P you throw in is for personality. And I thought for a long time of whether I wanted to share that with you just now, but I don't care who knows that. And my intent with sharing this information is that I'm going to talk through some experiences that I've had growing up and continuously, because after my diagnosis, I started a note in my phone, you know, in the Notes app. And I just labeled it that. And whenever I had a memory or an experience of something that just happened to me that kind of fit into that category, I wrote it down. There's a lot of things on that list, and some of them are quite comical, even though they're like sad and whatever. As I paint my face today, I want to walk you through some of those things. And my intent with sharing this is that if you share similar experiences and you want to change it, you can. Because the narrative that I've been around for a really long time is that everybody feels like that. And it was so lovely, validating, and amazing to be around professionals that would listen to my experiences and say, okay, that's not like, yeah, I can understand why that's frustrating for you and that you want help with that. So here's what we can do. And girly wigs, before we get into this, you know I'm not a medical professional. You know that. It's 3:05 p.m. and I'm gluing my eyebrows. You know we're not a medical professional. However, I do have a lot of education in education and a little bit in neuroscience with a ton of life experience just working with people, which is fascinating too. Somebody who's nervous in social situations has a lot of people skills. What kind of sick, twisted thing is that, right? But I think that's what pushed me to do do content creation and go out and be a performer in drag and performing and singing and all of that is because I knew that I really wanted to do these things, but I've always been too terrified to do them. But I have made such growth with the way that I like looking into the camera and like, girl, I'm looking at you right there. You know, like having chemistry alone in a room is something that I'm apparently getting pretty good at. Just crazy. Except it makes perfect sense, unfortunately, but you know. Yeah, so just like a cutesy little overcast mental health moment. Can I get a round of applause for the hair? Like the way that falls, I hairsprayed the hell out of that, so that's not moving. She's so crunchy, but I needed it to stay like those little curls. It's so cute. I told myself that I was gonna take less than 2 hours to paint this face today, but I already feel like that's not gonna happen because it's been 23 minutes for me. It's obviously been a lot less to you. Also, and another reason why I want to share this is because I feel like people are fake online, you know? And I don't think it's that people are fake online. I just like saying that, but I know that so many people have this curated sense of who they are on their online platforms, which isn't even a bad thing. It means you're putting in effort in order to convey a certain image, a brand, your personality, anything. Like you're selling yourself on social media if you're participating in it in any way like I am, but like most people do, right? What do we just forget that people have like experiences outside of those things and that who that person is isn't the whole picture? If you go into one of my 4 Instagram pages or 4 TikToks or YouTube channels, it really looks like I have it all together. And I do have a lot together. I have a lot together, but I don't have all of it together. I don't know. I'm balancing that because I want to be a real person here. Part of the reason why I'm here is because I want to be authentic and I want to be me and I want to do so in a safe way. So here we are. I don't know. Anyway, so it looks like the primer is nice and dry. So we're going to go and cover these brows. Look how lumpy that is right there. Oh well. A little lumpy never hurt nobody. So we gonna dance until we drop. So I blended those edges. Now I'm going to go in with my Makeup Forever powder foundation and set these brows in. You see, I was going to paint my nails pink, but I never got there. Now I have powdered the brows, so now it's time to glue on some new ones. I've soaked the floor with that water. I can't even I need a towel. Oh my god, I'm dripping. Sorry, I'm still learning. Oh, now there's a towel on the ground. So now we all know that. Wow, that was a big old failure. What in the world just happened there? I must be using an old page of brows because that's what I got after doing 2 of them. Now it's time for a corporate reshuffle. I feel like those eyebrows must have been like 15 years old because it's never just fallen apart on me like that. Maybe I will try and cover a bit of that. Oh, and it just is sloughing off. Cool, more texture. Everything's going fine. Well, thank God. I thought I forgot how to do that. Now I know what you're thinking. David, that seems very high. And you know what? I'd have to agree with you. That does look a little outrageously high. We don't know. Let's just do whatever the hell. Let's turn up the juice and see what shakes loose.
All right, ladies, let's turn up the juice and see what shakes loose. Uh-oh.
Come on, Layla McQueen. There are the brows. I can work with those. They're looking a little crazy, but I actually like that. I'm going to look at my notes. I'm not going to share every single one with you, obviously, because there's a lot of really weird ones in there, but like, this is something really stupid. When I was younger, I had a fish tank with plecostomuses in it. Plecos, you know? And the fish tank with the plecostomuses in it was in the kitchen that I ate a lot at. So the plecostomi would be in view of me eating and drinking. And as I grew up, I drank a lot of milk, got milk. I would always just have this intense irrational fear that that plecostomus had jumped out of the fish tank and into my milk and I wouldn't have noticed it. And I would just take like a big old swig at 2% and I would accidentally like ingest the plecostomus down my throat. That sounds like an irrational fear and like something silly and like a ha-ha moment. No, that like would give me an anxiety attack whenever I was drinking milk and did for years. It sounds so stupid, but I gotta say, some of the things that seem the most outrageous and like most bothersome to you become a lot easier to manage if you talk to people about them. Like, even me just saying that out loud, like, that was in my notes app. I haven't said that out loud yet. That's ridiculous. The Plecostomus was in my milk, and that would give me like stomach cramps of anxiety. Isn't that ridiculous? Okay, anyway, so we're pulling out all the stops today. So for the concealer that I'm going to use under the brows to cut them is like this green kimchi concealer because we're doing sour candy. It's purple. It's not purple. Nobody said purple. It's green and pink. Okay, this is cool. This is headed in a cool direction. I like that. Sometimes I forget how much I enjoy this until I actually get into it and see something that I'm excited by. Those brows look pretty symmetrical. Like, whew, love that for me. Now I'm going to take my regular concealer and I'm going to do the area just on top of the brows. I love that this just like flips out like, I don't think I've ever genuinely done that with my real hair before in my entire life. I'm getting excited. This is good. This is all coming together, you know? It's so dark out. It's so dark out. In the winter, in the bleak midwinter, frosty wind made moan. That was hard to say. Good thing I did my tongue rolls earlier. Okay, so now it's time for the tape. Just kidding, I don't want it there. Missed the garbage. Just kidding, I don't want it there either. And also, it isn't even the time for tape. What are you letting me do out here? This is...
I don't know what's going on.
What do I even need? Oh, right, color. Okay. Oh, look at the sour candy lighting reflection on that. Oh, that's good. So we're gonna do pink on the inner corner and then green on the outer corner. Just kidding, I actually do want the tape before I start the beginning of the color. I don't even care if that's right. That's where we're doing it today, because that is the third time I put tape on that side of my face. Okay, now that I've taped that, probably about 6 more times that you didn't see, I'm gonna go in with some primer. Now it's time for color. So I'm gonna go in with Best Buds, this little light pink, and we're gonna start in this inner corner. I have inhaled so much pigment. So now I'm going to take the Stupid Love palette that is right here, because we just need a little bit of a black liner. So I'm gonna take it from the edge all the way in. This eye looks very thick. She looks very thick, hey, with like 4 C's. I don't know how this is all gonna work out for us. I'm willing to stick it out to see. It feels like it's 12 hours later, but I have all the color in there. Lots of fixing in the colors. But I like the way that they look well enough to, oh God. But you know what, we'll put lashes on, it won't even matter. So I'm gonna peel the tape. Wow, that was on there. So much fallout. Ow. 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 Oh, that's stuck. Okay, I'm as good with that as I'm ever going to be. So now I'm gonna take off this ridiculous amount of fallout. The Plant Gay and the Stupid Love palettes both have a lot of fallout, but especially with the way that I use them, because I use a lot. Oh my God, I did not look down at my legs or my white shirt. Yeah, that's so bad. I think me opening up and talking about what I've been going through lately, in the long and short of it, is that I just want to say it's okay not to be okay. And sometimes when we think of not being okay, we think of like terror and awful and, you know, horrific experiences that make somebody not okay. And for once, that's not what I've been going through. I think for me right now, it's the complete opposite. Things are feeling a little bit bland. Things are feeling dull, and it's not because I'm not doing exciting things. I am literally sitting here living my dream right now, sharing my art, being creative as hell in so many different ways. And I'm so happy, thankful, and grateful. And I want to say that because everything you see online isn't the whole picture. It is usually reality. Like, what I share with you is my reality. It's what I sit here and do. It's what I go out and travel and do and that. But it's not the whole picture. And I'm so glad that you're here with me watching this right now. Thank you. Let's look at the next thing on the list. It's probably not fish or milk related, but you know, who knows? Oh, how about this? Water on my face. I remember as a child, I would just scream bloody murder if I got water on my face. And that, I'm going to be completely honest, that only went away a decade ago. Yeah, I was a teenager who like was not willing to get water on their face. Yeah, so I wonder why my skin is the way that it is. It's because water didn't touch my face. It made me so uncomfortable. It made me frustrated and angry. I thought that was normal, but now I'm very proud to admit that when I'm in the shower, I can just stand right under it and, you know, get my face wet. Yeah, that was That's who I was, though. That's who I was. There's still a lot of pieces of that lingering within me that I can only now begin to look at critically because I've had help. So it's okay not to be okay, and it's okay to get help too. Okay, I'm just gonna say that right now because it's Christmas time, and I don't know about you, but the whole reason that I started Dragmas is because I was depressed at Christmas, you know? And I know that a lot of people share similar experiences, and I wanted this to be a fun little festive getaway for you. Maybe you're like in the pantry right now at Christmas dinner with this in your AirPods or something like that because you just need to get away from Uncle Brent who voted for... I don't want to. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it in a Dragmas video. We do that in Dismantling Hate. It's all very heavy right now, so I just want to be, you know, some little dysregulated ray of sunshine for you in these moments because we got to do it. The world needs your art. Is there anything else I need to say? This feels so dysregulated. If this is the first Dragmas video you're watching, you have to know the rest are probably exactly the same, but I'm going to say they're different because I personally feel different right now. I don't even know if I've said anything of value. Or am I just talking? Okay, wait. Speaking of, I got a comment on my Dismantling Hate series. Now, of course, this is not a reading mean comments video, and this comment was very long. They called me something that I can't get out of my head, and I've been calling myself this thing for so long, and it's just so hilarious to me. You silly little baby lady. Silly little baby lady. Oh, you're such a silly little baby lady. It's hard to say. Say it, silly little baby lady. Oh my god, there's nothing but silly little baby ladies around here. Come on, you silly little baby ladies. It's just so much fun to say. Silly little baby lady. And I think the best part is that that person meant to be as insulting as possible when, at this point, I don't know if that works. I don't know if that works on me, but that's good. Actually, that's good. Glad we're there. I don't hate the shape. I think the color being a little bit inconsistent is like weirding me out. But once we get more things on here, it's all gonna come together. So the next step here is going to be the bottom of the face. That's what we're going for. But we are gonna go in with a little bit of color under the eye because I've been liking how that looks. All right, you silly little baby ladies, are you ready for the concealer? Because I know I am. I don't know. Powder foundation is on. Now it's time to powder the lights out of everything on the bottom. And then I think we're going to do stones. Let's see if there's anything else on that list I want to share with you. Oh, God. Policing the hand washing of others is another one. You know how many people don't wash their hands? I remember talking about this last year for Dragmas, is that a striking amount of people out in our world don't wash their hands. Because I exclusively use a men's washroom when there's no gender inclusive option for that, or gender neutral option, I guess. And so many of the people in there just don't wash their hands, and that really bothers me. Like it gets a rise out of me if I see somebody not wash their hands, and I don't like that. And when I say I don't like that, I mean I don't like that I have such a reaction when people are being gross. I want to not care. I care too much about things. I think maybe that's what it is that I care too much about things that don't matter to me, or I care too much about things that aren't consequential to me. Okay, let's start slinging them stones on. So we're gonna start with pink at the base. That looks pretty outrageous, hey? Yep, okay, now let's do the same thing to the other side. Okay, the stones are there. So I just quickly threw on some mascara, and now it's time to do the top of the head, then lips, lashes, blush, highlight, and then we're out of here, girls. So we're gonna do two different colors of foundation. There's gonna be one really light one that I'm gonna concentrate in the middle. I have the top done. Now I'm going to powder the forehead. So we're gonna go for a pink lip. Okay, kids, I got a pink glitter lip. And I do love this. I love this. Okay, now the last piece of the puzzle is the lashes. What a weird video today has been. Yeah, welcome to Dragmas, babes. I feel like the reason that I made this whole thing, the reason for the season, is because, oh, I just ripped that off. That's tough. The reason for this season is that I just wanted to get in drag. I wanted to be on camera, and this is what we're doing. I've shown some people some of the reels and and little snippets of the videos here and there. And sometimes people will say like, how come it isn't Christmas related? And like, well, because Christmas is depressing. Not that Christmas has to be depressing. It doesn't have to be. You know, hopefully I'm not alone on this. Hopefully you're not watching this video being like, wow, Christmas is like the best, most happy time ever. I can't believe David doesn't enjoy Christmas and the holidays. Well, no, I don't. Maybe one day I will. Here's to hoping one day I will. Oh God. Okay, let's do the lashes. We're gonna stop talking about it. We're just gonna do it. I have in fact went from day to night, so I don't even know what the lighting is like. It's probably giving witchy undertones, isn't it? If it is, don't tell me. Lash number 1 and lash number 2. Okay, girly wigs, here's the final makeup look. I am going to put on a little bit more drag, maybe even a wig. Oh, love her. So I'm gonna go throw on a little bit more drag and I will be back to show you the final look of Dragmas Day 5. Echo plays Sour Candy by Lady Gaga. It's a sour candy. Okay, girly wigs, here's the final complete. Oh, right, that's still blinding as hell. Okay, girly wigs, here is the final completed look for Dragmas Day 5. Yeah, we're back to the neon. This isn't the same neon as I had on day 1. This is a little bit different, obviously because it's style very different. I think last year I doubled up on wigs. For the love, if we could, somebody needs to introduce this girl to some hairspray because apparently I don't have any. No, just leave it. I think this year I want to try and wear a different wig every day, and I think I can make that happen. There's definitely more than enough over there, but are they styled? Probably not. I do love this little pixie moment because this feels very sour candy. There's competition with the colors, right? Because the colors aren't the same. That green's not the same. The pink's not the same. Everything's just a little bit off. And you know what? That's okay. I'm still super happy with how this looks. I love a pigtail. Like, would you just look at that? Would you just look at that? Have you seen? Did you know about that? Did you know about these right here? Thanks for joining me on this weird, different episode of Dragmas. I hope that if anything I said throughout this resonated with you, that you're able to get out there, seek help if you need to, and try and maybe alleviate some of that shame that you feel for things that make you upset, you know, things that grind your gear. Like, it's okay. It's okay. Because I think we are so hard on ourselves that if we were kind to ourselves, it would make it so much easier. And it sounds so cliche, but I think we do, at least for me personally, I make things so much harder on myself than they need to be. And a lot of that is because I'm not always talking with other people about those things. I love talking to people all the time about everything, which is hard for a girl with social anxiety, but you know, you get it. Do I have powder in my beard there? Yeah, probably. It's a sour candy. Yeah, really what this comes down to is that there's a sentence that I've had in my notes app for maybe a decade now, is that people don't do better when they feel worse. So whatever that means for you, whether it's your physical habits, maybe it's your mental habits, maybe it's your way of thinking, people do not do better when they feel worse. So take a moment today, girl, and I want you to focus right now, in this moment, tonight, tomorrow, at some point in your very near future. I want you to think about some way that you can feel better. In like the smallest way. You don't need to make a meal out of it, and if you're a food addict, you probably shouldn't make a literal meal out of it because don't reward yourself with food all the time. That's not good either. This is the mental health chat, so now I'm thinking about that, but I'm really losing it. It's pretty late. But anyway, girlies, do something for yourself to make yourself feel better today in whatever way that means for you. It takes some time, you know, carve it out. Stop talking about it, just do it. I don't know. This one was weird. This one was weird. It's the shadows that are getting me. But anyway, girlies, thanks for getting to the end. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching Dragmas Day 5. Go follow me on Instagram at david.they. I do so much stuff over there. So find me on over there if you want some more from me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you like this eye shape? Not the blending. The lines in there, I know. But the shape of it in general, do you think this looks better? Or like yesterday's, for example, like day 4? Because this is day 5. Did I say day 5 before? I hope I said day 5 before. But yeah, let me know which shape of the eye you think looks better, and maybe what you paint on yourself, because I would love some makeup girlies in the comments down there too. I'd really appreciate that. If you have any tips, tricks, or opportunities for me, I'm really always willing to listen to them. Even the things that people say that are supposed to be mean make me laugh, as we saw earlier today. But yeah, anyway, I've been talking for too long. So yes, thanks for getting to the end. I love and appreciate the support, and I will see you for day 6 of Dragmas. Halfway. It's the halfway point. I might even have something special in store for you tomorrow at 3 p.m. But until then, goodbye. Take a bite. So sour candy. That would actually be a good dragon name. Come on, sour candisha.